What's up? I've got a Tigend here. This is a knife that I think you can find them in a few sites, but I find these from two places, but mainly one. It's the RIHE Design eBay page. But I think one of the sixleaf sellers carry some of these as well. I've seen them, I believe, on AliExpress as well. But RIHE Design eBay page is where I pick them up. 100%. I mean, the Weepy knives, the Tigens, and I think there's a couple other brands. I pick them up from the RIHE Design website or eBay page. And that's where I got this one. So hey, listen, I follow them on eBay. And so when they drop new models, I get alerted. I follow a lot of people on eBay. And every day I get alerts that some of them or all of them have dropped new items to their channels. And I get to see like the RIHE Design, if I pulled them up today or I pulled up my eBay, it may tell me that they have 4 new items. And then I can click in and go see what they are. Yeah, look at this thing, man. Wow. Is there a model number here anywhere? Hopefully it's on the knife, because if not, I'm going to have to go do some research, because I don't think it's anywhere on this packaging, at least not in English, man. Yeah, so, all right, let's get this out of the way. The knife's pretty oily, so I am going to wipe it off. First impression, listen, you already see the model number, because I'll have figured it out by the time I upload this piece. So I'm at the disadvantage. I don't know what the model number is, but I can tell you that this knife, my first impression, it is much smaller than I thought it was. I say much smaller, but maybe I thought it was like this big. You know what I mean? I see a recessed pocket clip. It's got the ceramic ball. Really good tension on it. Anodized titanium scales. Front flipper, thumb flipper, and a Spidey flick. Titanium backspacer. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's get this blade out. I think I'm going to go safe and try the thumb flick first. It's a bolster lock too, so I'm not locking myself out on a frame lock. Here we go. Maybe. There it is. Yeah, look at this blade. RIHE Design. What does that say? Is that it's a BK? Ooh, man, I might have to use the camera. I can't read it. SK1502 in VG10 steel. All right, let's get back out. SK1502. Okay, VG10 steel. It's got pretty good lockup, about 40%. Ooh, that liner's pretty tight. Action dropped pretty good, though. Blade centered. Try that front flipper. Ooh, that jimping's good. Sharp. Oh, look at that. Man, that's money. That jimping is so sharp that is money right there. Wow. Really nice. Yeah. I don't know if I can Spidey flick it. There it is. Detent. The detent on this lock bar is really strong. It's not really reliefed here. And so you're having to get in there. It's scalloped and with a little bit of jimping on it. but I'm having to kind of dig my nail in there to get to it. But that front flipper, ooh, is that nice. That is really nice. Let me try a reach over. Yeah, not so much. Wow, that detent's stiff, man. It's getting better. It's improving. Yeah, same with moving that lock bar. It's getting much better. Markedly improved just in the few times you've seen me flick it. Let's check this out. And not so much. Not so much. I mean, it's really, it's a small knife. Does have a little spot here. Great jimping. Yeah, kind of hard to get in there. I'm kind of actually feel like I'm locked out. Like there's a little bit of lock stick there or something. Let me open that again. Yeah, we've moved up to 50% lockup now since when we started. Solid. All right. Tigend, the SK, what was it, 1502 BG10 steel. Man, let's take it apart. Space and time. That's another one that's that I found on the RIHE Design eBay page. Space and time. Matter of fact, yeah, one of these right here. This little slip joint is one of them. Remember, there's like 4 or 5 different models, and it's an SK2, SK model. Interesting. Huh. Maybe same manufacturer. This wasn't a Tigend, though. This was Space and Time. But look at the pivot. It's got the same pivot. So it is, I'm going to say it's same company. I think they changed their name to Tigend. But this was a Space and Time piece. Pretty cool little slip joint. Really good fit and finish. Wonderful action. I mean, you can look for the video on the channel. But there's like 4 models of that thing. Pretty sure I got to pull the pocket clip. Maybe not. Might pop loose. Let's see. Nah, I think we're going to need to get that clip out of the way. Might be a screw underneath it. Ooh, is that tight? Come on, man. It's testing me. Got crown screws, recessed clip. Yeah, there was a screw underneath the clip holding that scale. I kind of thought so because looking between the scales, I couldn't see any connection there. But we're loose now for sure. Yeah, really nice little anodized piece of titanium. It's got a steel liner. Lots of tension on this lock bar. I might take some of that off of there. Experiment a little bit. Nice little cage bearings. Wonder if we've got a locked. Yeah, it's locked in the opposite steel liner. No steel liner on this side. Yeah, just the steel liner for the lock. And just the scale on this side. Interesting. Get that washer out of there. I mean, there's really no need for it. It's plenty rigid, right? Yeah, no steel washer on this side because the liner is performing that. Yeah. Well, I'm going to take just the slightest little bit of tension. I mean, look at how bent that is. I'm going to take a little bit of this tension out of this. Oh yeah, easy adjustment here. Nothing complicated there. Let's try that right there. All right, we're going to wipe it all down. Get all the little oily bits off of it. It's interesting, all that anodizing it's that lightning ano, but it's blues and purples and golds on the outside, but the inside is almost strictly gold. Interesting. And yeah, it's slick. And no, I'm not a big fan of slick. But the price point on this, and I'll get to it, hopefully there's some of these available. I'll tell you, here's what I found out about some of these off-brand knives on the RIHE design site. It's almost like they buy like 5 of them, and when they sell them out, they don't have no more. Because I have bought, it seems like I have bought a knife from the RIHE design eBay page, and then the knife's gone. It's like literally the one that I bought is the last one that I see. Yeah, I've had it happen. I'm like, well, that knife disappeared. I'm glad I bought it, because I don't see no more. So I don't know if where they're buying. Surely they're not one-offs. I mean, surely they're just buying one. But you would think there's more available that they could offer on their eBay page after selling one. I don't know. It's weird. But I say all that to say, hopefully this knife is up on their site and available. I haven't paid attention prior to today to see if it is, but we're going to look. I hope it is available. I mean, I say that, it's kind of preemptive. I mean, I may not like the knife that much and kind of not recommend it, and then why would I hope it's available? It's like, yeah, I don't want you to buy a piece of junk. I will say, initially, I don't really feel like that's the case. Especially on the price point, you know. I mean, you're going to want a smaller, a smaller little executive knife, because that's what this is. This isn't you're not going to get any serious work out of this knife, or, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. There we go. And then I believe that faces down. Mm-hmm. And then the washer is on this side. It's got an internal stop pin on the blade. Rides in the titanium scale here. Pretty cool. I mean, so far, it doesn't represent as a cheap, junky, like a gas station knife. It's not represented like that at all. I mean, the materials are right on line with standard production, mid-grade piece. VG10 is no joke. Good steel. Okay. I think the issue right now is the detent. Did I take too much? Do I need to take some more? Do I need to put some back in it? It was awful snappy it just seemed a little stiff. So we'll see. I mean, it's locking up the same. I'm going to put one of these back screws in just to give me equal tension front to back on the knife. I don't think you can really check action with just the pivot end. I think he requires both. Well, that seemed easier. Still snappy. Much better. I'll probably be able to spidey flick it now. Even without the pocket clip. Yeah. Is there movement? Oh no, it's locked up tight as can be. Let me, because I did change that, I'm going to check it. Yeah, no, it's all locked up. The liner lock, pardon me, is actually 100% behind the blade, so I really didn't think it would fail, but boy, I sure wanted to check it, you know. Start changing up ergonomics and stuff. Got this tiny screw and then the pocket clip. Yeah, the action's much improved. You know, hey, every now and then the comments made, you know, why are you changing that action, knives breaking, that kind of thing. You know, here's something that doesn't get brought up in that conversation much, is that, you know, I take my knives apart, you know, especially the ones I carry and I use, but even if I don't, if they're in a case for a long time and I'm going through my collection, I go, oh, there's that knife, and I get it out and I go messing with it, it comes right over here to this bench. I don't film everything I do. Honestly, I film very little of what I do. And so I get a knife out, I bring it over here, and I go, oh man, I remember what I liked about this knife so much. You know, kind of a confession, one of the things that's happening there with that now is I'm looking for purge items as well. But even if it's not a purge, it's something for sure I'm going to keep. If I get it out, I bring it over to this bench, take it apart, I check the cleanliness of it, the lubrication, the tuning of the knife, and if the action is, if the detent's weak, I stiffen it up. If the pocket clip doesn't run, I mean, you know, if the knife's been on the channel before, I'm not filming. You know, my pocket check today, don't be surprised. I know it's terrible, but yeah, it's my Bravo one, man, my budget one. Liner lock, I mean, whew, man, I just, this is my fave right now, man. Stays in my pocket. I can't get rid of it. For all the cool knives I got, you know, that's my fave. Yeah, so this thing, the action on it, well, let's get rid of all this, man. We'll finish checking this thing in and checking it out. You know what we're going to do here. All right. What a cutie of a little knife. And I love the top flipper. So that top flipper, oh, it's so good. I mean, as top flippers go, it's wonderful. Let's check the thumb. Yeah, it functions really well now. Spidey flick. Yeah, that first one was operator. Let's talk about the closing action. I mean, you got to shake it. It's not fall shut. But it's awful smooth, man. I mean, B+ for sure. Maybe even A- stuff. You know, to get in that A action, I got to like it. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the criteria. It's not as scientific as you would think. Like, I don't know. You think it's scientific? Probably not. But to get to that A action, I got to like it as well. And you know what? For this knife, the size of it, how the ergonomics break down, where I'm having to hold it and function this knife, I like the action on this. So with all that said, I'm going to upgrade it and say it's A minus, man. Even though I got to shake it down, I really like the way this knife is functioning. Yeah, there's that top flipper now that I've relieved that detent a little bit. You know, you just reach over and, you know, boop, there it is. Pretty cool. Let's talk about ergonomics. Yeah, I mean, I kind of can get my fourth finger on it, but really it's like a 3.5, a 3 finger to get behind this finger guard. Not so confident, very confident. It's going to be short of a confident grip because it's slick. There's not a lot holding me back. And if I was to go forward with this knife and met some resistance, there's a good chance I'd come over it. I will say that it's short enough that it does kind of pack into the hand, so it may fare better than I'm saying it would. The option to get a strong grip here and cap with the thumb, it's there, but it's a little short for that. Like, I'm a little short. There's space between my thumb and that. So, maybe... And I think ultimately what that comes down to is, can this be a little spear? You know, can it be a little stinger in the pocket if needed? And I'm gonna say that I think it could. You know, the way that I'm holding it, would I be comfortable with having this as a little stinger in my pocket? Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I think it would fare just fine. Mm-hmm. Pocket clip. Let's check it. Something tells me it's going to do well. We'll see. Yeah. The thick stuff kind of hung up on the screws, but not, sorta. Not really. Just the tiniest little 1/8 of an inch of the head of that poking up does represent a small knife. The whole aids in pulling it out. Definitely a drier clip in the thick stuff. And same on, this is standard jean size material. You know, one hand in, one hand out. And, the knife is small enough and light enough that the tension on that ball is going to keep that in pocket. Yeah, pretty good. Runs really well. Let's check it for safety. Yeah, no blade contact there. The tip is recessed. So the clip's solid, the tip's good, and I'm confident that I can handle this knife just about any way when it's closed and not make blade contact. You know, the knife's safe in a pocket for sure. I wonder if that VG10 is sharp. Let's find out. Let's get rid of this little hanging chad. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Wonderfully sharp out of the box. Yep, very good. All right, let's see if we can find it now. How about that? Price and availability. Okay, unfortunately, I can't find them. I can't find one on eBay or AliExpress. Yeah, so I'm not seeing them. I did see some sales on them, though, so you could put a search on it. You know, put a search in eBay for a RIHE design Sk1502 or the Tigend Sk1502, and then if somebody posts one, you'll get a notification. I would say expect to pay $30 to $45, depending on, bidding, right? Like how much competition you got. So, anyways, cute little bugger, and I don't know. I kind of like it. Titanium VG10, Tigend. Appreciate y'all watching.